Hi guys! Short and sweet intro today because, well, I made a boo-boo. Yesterday I actually filmed the whole process of what you're about to see now, but I forgot to take an initial photo at least of the piece that I worked on. Because I went again in the thrift stores and found something that I like, but I did not take a single picture of what the object looked like before I repainted it. So I can still tell you a few things about the whole item. It's a clock, it's handmade, and it was beautiful. And I saw these types of clocks in the thrift shops here for quite a while now, and they are quite pricey sometimes. They go for maybe $20, $30, and that's a bit too much for me right now. So I waited on them, hoping that they would go down in price, and guess what? They did. Now, for you to have just a bit of an idea, here's a screen grab from the video of what it looked like in the beginning. And yeah, it's a gorgeous, gorgeous wood. I think pine wood handmade clock. I finally managed to get it for a way lower price than it initially was. It was now only $6. So that's amazing. It was well within my price range and I snatched it. Right now, it looks like this. So if you're curious to see what I painted on it and how it changed, definitely keep watching this video. It's been such a fun thing to do, and if I go to the shops and find more of these kind of clocks again, I will most definitely do more and most likely put them up for sale because I think they look really, really cool in a Gothic type of house. They would be the perfect addition to your wall decor. But until I find more of these, please make sure to check my shop because I still have a lot of art that needs a home. And keep on watching this video so you can see how I transform this basic boring wall clock into something that is really, really dark and pretty. So right now I'll just leave you with voiceover me. Enjoy! Hello again. Wow, I'm really uncomfortable showing my face. Anyway, let's talk about this clock. So I almost got so excited when I first got it that I was really so close to disassembling it. So I already took the screws that are holding the mechanism in place out. So now I had to figure out how to take the rest of it out. And I figured it out, and I really had fun with the clock hands because, well, come on, you saw how that one looked like. But yeah, I managed to find a way to take everything apart without breaking any of the pieces. What you don't see here, in all honesty, is the struggle that I went through to disassemble this, because it took me maybe 20 minutes or so. A bit embarrassing for just a clock, but managed to do it. So then I got to painting it, and of course, to no one's surprise, I painted it black. I really thought that was a good choice for this frame. The blank wood looked very plain and uninspiring. And I really want to keep on the theme of having only certain types of colors throughout the whole house so everything looks cohesive. Painting this item took quite a long time, I think at least 40 minutes just to spread the paint all over the wood, which of course absorbed a lot of paint, and going and painting around through all the nooks and crannies was a really, really time-consuming task. But once it was done, the result was stunning. I think this frame looks amazing. I think it's one of the most beautiful frames I have in my house right now. And I then decided that as a canvas I will be using the face of the clock. In all honesty, I did it both because I was too lazy to figure something out, and because figuring something out would mean me getting out of the house and buying more supplies. So yeah, I already had all those sheets of canvas, out of which I cut an adequate piece to fit inside the face of the clock. So I glued some paper over the hole that was in the face of the clock for the mechanism, and then on the face itself I glued firstly a blank piece of paper as to cover the numbers, which were still very visible through the canvas, and I didn't want to risk anything showing through it. So then I was able to actually glue the canvas on top of that paper. From there I moved on and I started painting. No, in fact, I started by sketching my artwork, something that you are not able to see right now because, well, I forgot to press record. So for the subject of this painting, I decided to go with a white crow, something that is quite rare to see. And because that is kind of pretty much white and my frame is black, I didn't want the background to be black as well. It would just be boring. So since I did the Solve et Coagula artwork earlier in a previous video, I decided to go with a theme of black and green. So I finally managed to choose a dark emerald green color, which I really enjoy, and used that as the background for this painting. And you know what, let me actually pop on screen the actual reference picture that I used for this artwork. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous picture of a white crow. I think it's beautiful. I wish I could see that bird up close. It's stunning. So I went ahead and started to paint the bird. It was a very, very difficult process, and I did learn quite a lot from it when it came to, well, painting white. That bird was definitely not completely white because the shadows on the feathers were having tints of yellow and gray and blue. So I had to figure out where to place those colors and how to mix them. Painting this had quite a learning curve, I can say. And you will be able to notice that throughout the video, I did change quite often the colors that I used in this painting, because as I was painting, I was getting so focused on the artwork itself that I was not paying enough attention to the reference picture. And then once I took a step back from the painting, I realized, oh wait, that's not correct. So I had to redo it and paint over everything. But it's all fine, of course. I really wanted for this painting to resemble the original image as much as possible. And in order to do that, I did have to do some big modifications at some point. That meant that I had to reshape the body of the crow. I had to cut a bit of the wing. I had to reshape the head and the beak completely, because I did notice that I rounded everything too much and the bird looked a bit too much like a parrot. So when reshaping the head and the beak, I also had to repaint the eye in its entirety. That was a thing that bummed me out, because I really spent a long time doing the eye initially, so I had to deal with that. I think the second time I painted the eye, I didn't pay as much attention as I did the first time, and I think it turned out not as lifelike as it initially was. But that is definitely not a problem, since now I know for a future time what I did wrong today and what I want to do wrong again. Once I was done with painting the crow, I realized that, well, as usual, I did not manage to place the subject of the painting properly within the frame. And so I was left with quite a big space above the head of the crow, and I wanted to do something with it. So I added a gold crown, which fits perfectly with the gold outer frame of the face of the clock. And it also ties in with the theme of the previous painting that I mentioned about earlier, with the black and green and gold. So, as Bob Ross says, happy accidents. And of course, once everything was done, I made sure to seal in my artwork with a protective varnish, glued everything together, hammered in a hanging piece on the back of the frame, and that's it. It was ready. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching me turn this old wall clock into a delightful piece of Gothic artwork. I sure had fun doing it. Now, before I leave you, let me mention again, don't forget to check out my Etsy shop, my Patreon, and of course, to like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're not already. With that said, until next week, stay spooky.